Singapore is building the $15 billion Tuas Mega Port, not just to move more cargo, but to completely redefine its position in global trade. This colossal project is rising from reclaimed land, powered by automation, and designed to outpace every other port on the planet. But why is Singapore betting so big on a single port? And what does it reveal about the country's long-term strategy to dominate global shipping? Now, before we dive into the tech, the scale, and the jaw-dropping ambitions behind Tuas, let's rewind a bit, because to understand why Singapore is going so hard on this port, we need to take a quick trip back in time. So, let's jump to the 1800s, when Singapore was still under British rule. Even back then, the Brits realized this tiny island was the perfect pit stop along major trade routes. Think of it like the ultimate rest stop for ships traveling between Europe and Asia. And once the Suez Canal opened in 1869, slicing travel time dramatically, Singapore's value skyrocketed. Fast forward to the 1960s. Singapore breaks away from British control, tries to merge with Malaysia, realizes that's not working out, and then officially becomes an independent country in 1965. And honestly, that's when Singapore started flexing its maritime muscles. By the end of the 80s, Singapore had the highest economic growth rate in the world. And it wasn't just luck, it was a masterclass in strategic planning. This place had barely any land, no oil fields, no forests to log. So they leaned into what they did have: location, efficiency, and brains. And by 1986, Singapore wasn't just in the shipping game, it was the champion. The busiest port in the world by tonnage. Just imagine that, 140,000 vessels sailing through every year like clockwork. But here's where things get interesting. Instead of kicking back and coasting on their success, Singapore decided to go even bigger, much bigger. Enter the Tuas Mega Port. Think of it like the Avengers assembling, but for shipping. Instead of relying on a bunch of scattered, aging terminals like Jurong Port, Pasir Panjang, Keppel, and Tanjong Pagar, Singapore said, let's bring everything together. Centralized, automated, next level. And that's exactly what Tuas Port is all about. The plan? Build it in 4 phases. The first one kicked off in 2015. And get this, they had to reclaim land from the ocean just to get started. We're talking a reclaimed area bigger than the entire country of Monaco. That's some real-life Waterworld kind of energy. They also built an 8.6-kilometer seawall, raised 5 meters above sea level to prepare for rising oceans. So not only are they future-proofing against climate change, they're doing it while expanding capacity for massive megaships. And yeah, Tuas Port actually started running in 2022, even though it's not fully built yet. Phase 2 started in 2019, and it's more of the same, but bigger. More reclaimed land, more seawall, and the construction of a full-blown maintenance base, stretching all the way to 2027. And then, Phase 3 and 4 are on the horizon. These will include even more land, more berths, and, get this, full automation. We're talking 0 humans running around the dock. Right now, Tuas has 11 operational berths. By the time they're done in 2040, they're aiming for 66. That's enough to handle 65 million TEUs. That's 20-foot equivalent units, if you're wondering. Just for scale, the entire port of Shanghai, the current biggest in the world, handles about 47 million a year. Tuas is gunning to crush that number. But here's where it really starts to feel like the future. This port isn't just big, it's smart. Like, really smart. It's being built from the ground up to be fully automated. No more armies of workers driving forklifts in the rain. Instead, everything is run by machines, controlled remotely by humans from a sleek command center. It's like something Tony Stark would design. Need to move a container? Automated guided vehicles do that. Need a crane? Boom. 12-story robots are already lifting and stacking like champs. Want to inspect a ship? Drones got you covered. And for maintenance or safety inspections, augmented reality glasses and robotic exoskeletons help workers get the job done without even breaking a sweat. Even the nuts and bolts stuff like removing twist locks from containers? Yeah, robots handle that now. It's not just about efficiency, it's about safety, cost savings, and future-proofing. Imagine having one central control center where you can monitor and manage thousands of moving parts without ever setting foot on the dock. That's what Tuas is doing. And don't worry, this isn't a robots are taking our jobs story. In fact, the port is creating work. Local tech companies, training centers, even virtual reality designers are getting in on the action. SideFX Studios, for example, is helping crane operators and engineers train using VR. So instead of taking jobs away, Tuas is elevating them, teaching new skills and moving workers into safer, higher-paying roles. And just when you think that's enough to impress, there's another layer: sustainability. This megaport isn't just about money and machines, it's about greener shipping too. By swapping out diesel-powered gear for electric vehicles, Tuas aims to slash carbon emissions by a whopping 50%. And the long-term goal? Net zero emissions by 2050. They're even building green structures with solar panels, reducing their energy footprint while maintaining full operational power. It's like someone handed the blueprint for a port to a Silicon Valley startup and said, "Make this eco-friendly." Now let's zoom out for a second. Why does this matter? Well, more than 80% of global trade moves by sea. And as demand for shipping grows, thanks to online shopping, global supply chains, and mega manufacturing, ports become more critical than ever. If your country can't handle large cargo efficiently, you get delays, higher costs, and lost opportunities. Singapore knows this. That's why they're making Tuas a one-stop superport, capable of handling the biggest ships, the most cargo, and the fastest turnarounds. And by consolidating everything into one super-efficient location, they're cutting down on redundancy, traffic, and wasted time. They're also positioning themselves as the central node in a massive web of global trade, connecting to 600 ports in over 120 countries. If global trade were the internet, Singapore wants to be the fiber optic cable running it all. So, will it work? That's the big question. On paper, it's a masterpiece of engineering, logistics, and vision. But real-world logistics are messy. Global politics shift. Climate events happen. Technology can fail. So, yeah, it's a bold bet. But if anyone can pull this off, it's Singapore. They've done it before, and they're doing it again. Now let's hear from you. Do you think automation like this is the future of all jobs? Not just shipping? Is the Tuas Mega Port a genius investment? Or a gamble that's just too big? Drop your thoughts in the comments. We'd love to hear your take. And hey, if you've enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to like, subscribe, and smash that notification bell so you never miss another deep dive like this. Seriously, it helps us grow and keep making content just like this one. Until next time, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next